GRA, the Ghana Revenue Authority, saw a revenue leaking system. Processes were manual, fragmented, and inefficient. There was a need for change.
Waybills were stored in sacks. Dipsticks were used to measure volumes. Nothing was automated and revenue was leaking.
It was clear what we had wasn't working. Ghana needed a radical solution.
This wasn't just about revenue. It was about proving that Ghanaians could build and lead with technology.
We built SML Experience to bring structure, visibility, and accountability, blocking the revenue leakages in the system.
Thanks to SML's Experience, today the Ghana Revenue Authority can track every liter of petroleum from depot in real time.
This isn't just about the story of a company. It's the story of a country taking charge of its tax revenue through bold partnerships and innovation. This is the story of Strategic Mobilisation Ghana Ltd. The petroleum sector plays a crucial role in Ghana's economy, contributing nearly 20% to the nation's total GDP. Even during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when many global economies were in crisis, Ghana was able to meet most of its revenue targets, largely due to the consistent performance of this sector.
The petroleum downstream ecosystem consists of various players, each with their own interest. The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA for instance, is a key player responsible for collecting taxes from this sector, taxes that directly fund the country's development. Other stakeholders include bulk distribution companies, BDCs, oil marketing companies, OMCs, and the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, among others. For the downstream petroleum sector, the process starts when BDCs import refined petroleum products, which arrive via ship. These products are transferred through pipelines and stored in tanks at depots. When BDCs sell the fuel to OMCs, a waybill is issued and the product is loaded into tanker trucks headed to filling stations for consumers like you and I to purchase. However, it was at this critical point, when the tanker trucks lifted the product and left the depots, that the system becomes most vulnerable. With little to no real-time oversight, significant volumes of petroleum products were at risk of being falsely reported, underdeclared, lost, or unaccounted, leading to massive revenue leakages for the state.
GRA has to know the volume of petroleum products leaving the depot so it can collect the right amount of taxes. That was the problem. Most of the methods used to check the volumes, track the orders, monitor the liftings were all manual. Dipsticks were used in many instances. Waybills were physically stored in sacks, and as thermal prints, they faded within days, when exposed to heat and light. This system left room for inaccuracies, misreporting, and theft, leading to massive leakages in tax revenue for the GRA. To make matters worse, most depot systems in the country relied on infrastructure without a unified architecture, which meant generic software solutions simply wouldn't work.
Addressing this challenge required a substantial financial investment and a tailored technological solution.
Now, these challenges had persisted for years, and because it required both deep technical expertise and significant capital investment, it became clear that a full risk-reward model was the best way forward.
Strategic Mobilisation Ghana Ltd, also known as SML. We are a wholly Ghanaian-owned company. Our founder and core leadership team have backgrounds in international trade, oil and gas, forestry, taxation, logistics, mining services, and system designs. SML was born from a bold ambition to use advanced technology to transform revenue assurance in Ghana and across Africa. SML was built on the conviction that right technology deployed with purpose can transform even the most complex challenges. This belief fuels our mantra, confronting impossibilities with technology. Today, SML has a team of over 450 direct and indirect personnel, 35 80% of whom are women.
When we first entered the petroleum downstream space, one glaring issue was the volume gap. As a result of the leakages, millions of liters of petroleum products couldn't be accounted for monthly in the tax revenue system. GRA had little to no visibility into liftings volumes in real time. Our first step was to study the entire value chain thoroughly. Once we fully understood the sector's challenges, we began system design.
GRA had no independent meters for measuring petroleum flows. Information was fragmented, scattered across institutions, and limited in nature. Real-time monitoring didn't exist. Critical documents were poorly stored. The entire ecosystem depended heavily on manual processes, leaving it vulnerable to errors, delays, and revenue leakages.
What sets SML apart is its advanced end-to-end integration of flow meters, automatic tank gauges, and real-time dashboards. It creates a seamless, fully automated monitoring ecosystem for full insight from depot operations to final payments to the government. This data triangulation platform was severely lacking in the Ghanaian downstream sector for tax revenue collection. In many countries, for instance, Nigeria, Kenya, India, and Brazil, the traditional fragmented systems where monitoring, measurement, and audit assurance are handled by separate, often incompatible technologies, reduce transparency, traceability, and accountability at every stage. The SML system is designed specifically for Ghana's petroleum sector, and its scalable model sets a new benchmark in precision monitoring and audit assurance worldwide.
We use optical character recognition technology to digitalize waybills and other crucial or critical documents, eliminating paper-based inefficiencies. To ensure round-the-clock security, AI-powered risk management tools monitor all depot activities 24/7, immediately flagging unusual behavior and preventing unauthorized product liftings, especially at night when oversight is typically weaker. All of this is seamlessly integrated into a centralized system, allowing for real-time monitoring, reconciliation, audit, and abnormality detection to prevent revenue leakages. SML Experian carries out what we call the four-way digital reconciliation, a process that matches and verifies information from four key sources to ensure everything adds up. It compares independent flow meter readings from the depots, product orders recorded on the GRA ICOMS platform, waybills generated during the actual movement of products, purchase audits submitted through the NPA's ERDMS system. This ensures that the quantity of fuel ordered and lifted from the depots align with what is officially declared for tax purposes.
It also checks whether the correct taxes have been calculated and paid by comparing with a bill of entry, and tracks these payments via the Ghana.gov platform.
In simple terms, SML Experian gives GRA and stakeholders revenue assurance and full value chain visibility, helping to predict revenue flows, improve tax compliance, ensure end-to-end financial accountability, and prevent revenue leakages.
This proprietary system is the first of its kind anywhere in the world. Uniquely designed for full real-time petroleum sector monitoring. Today, it is actively deployed across 25 depots nationwide, setting a new global benchmark for technology-driven revenue assurance.
In May 2020, before SML began, the data gap between the NPA and GRA was substantial. Over a 16-month period, the revenue leakage totaled more than 3.2 billion liters of petroleum products. Just 16 months after SML came on board, that gap dropped dramatically to just 260 million liters. The sharp reduction highlighted the power of real-time monitoring and proper data reconciliation.
The impact on revenue was equally significant. Prior to our involvement, the average monthly taxable volume of the petroleum product was around 208 million liters, generating approximately 299 million Ghana cedis per month in taxes. After SML systems were deployed, That monthly average jumped to 450 million letters, more than doubling the tax base. Cumulatively, this resulted in over 14.1 billion letters in additional recorded volume, translating to 20.3 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenue for the state. For the period of June 2020 to December 2024, these numbers are more than statistics. They represent better funding for education, healthcare, roads, and national development.
Today, Ghana's downstream petroleum sector is no longer defined by opacity and fragmentation. It's now a streamlined, automated system, giving the GRA and other stakeholders real-time visibility, literally at the click of a button. Beyond fixing a broken system, Ghana now has a blueprint for domestic revenue mobilization. It's a working model that can be adopted across other sectors, helping to increase internal revenue for national development.
SML is now preparing to bring the same level of transformation and reduction in potential revenue leakages to Ghana's upstream petroleum and solid mineral sectors, both of which hold significant revenue potential but have long lacked real-time insight.
But the vision doesn't stop there. SML plans to extend its expertise beyond petroleum, applying our proven systems to other critical areas like water, electricity, aviation, telecommunications, amongst others. This is more than just deploying smart technology. It's about building a stronger, more accountable future for Ghana, one city at a time.
This isn't just the story of a company. It's the story of a nation taking charge of its resources through innovation, through transparency, and through courageous partnerships. This is the story of Strategic Mobilisation Ghana Ltd, providing audit and revenue assurance. Expanding across Africa is the natural next step in the SML journey. It reinforces our mission to strengthen revenue collection systems, enhance national accountability, and make a meaningful contribution to sustainable economic growth on the continent. Join us.